The finale begins with Greer watching a video of Tag talking about their marriage. This triggers her to call her publisher Enid to schedule a session to come up with a plan. Greer then questions Amelia about Merritt, asking if she ever used drugs, as the autopsy revealed a high level of substances in her system. At that moment, the police Dan and Nikki arrive and take Greer to the station for questioning. They also seize her belongings, including her computer. At the station, the cops question Greer about Broderick Graham, accusing her of hiring him to kill Merritt Monaco and convincing Shooter to pay for the hit, shielding her from suspicion. Greer denies the accusations. Meanwhile, Amelia speaks to her parents about Merritt's drug results. Her mother, Karen, checks her pouch and realizes one of the 3 pills she brought with her is missing. Amelia later calls Shooter, telling him she no longer wants to be with him, feeling lost and confused about her identity. She reminisces about who she used to be, leading them to part ways. Elsewhere, Enid and her interns meet with Tag, urging him to release a public statement. Tag rehearses with his sons, announcing that he will be spending the next few weeks reflecting and healing at rehab. Back at the station, the police bring Broderick in for questioning alongside Greer. They discover that Broderick is actually Greer's brother, with a gambling addiction that she's been helping him with for years. Both are released, much to the frustration of the police, who are now back to square one. Upon returning home, Greer introduces Broderick as her brother, leaving everyone stunned. She learns about Tag going to rehab and makes it clear that she's done living in fear of exposure. Greer reveals to her family that she didn't meet Tag at a gallery, but as an escort at a bar where Broderick managed the clientele. Tag had been one of her clients. This shocking revelation allows Greer to release years of secrets and finally break free from her past. She declares she's done cleaning up after Tag and his ego, and from now on, she's focusing on herself, including a book she's been working on. Amelia later discovers that the 3 pills her mother brought were for euthanasia, and that one is indeed missing. Karen informs the police, and they suspect Thomas, who has a history of stealing pills. Thomas is taken in for questioning, admitting he stole the pill, thinking it was an oxy. He also reveals that his father got Merritt pregnant, and Merritt wanted to keep the baby. Thomas, hoping to solve the situation, took his grandfather's gun to scare her, but couldn't go through with it. He claims Isabel arrived on the scene, convincing him to walk away, and now believes she is the true culprit, driven by her desire for money. If Merritt had a baby, the trust fund would be reset, delaying access to the money by another 18 years, and it would need to be split among 4 people. Dan and Nikki then question Isabel, who denies killing Merritt for money and provides an alibi, a video of her being intimate in her car when Merritt was murdered. Nikki recalls a conversation with a maid who mentioned not washing a cocktail glass, which leads her to remember that Abby was nervously washing a glass the morning they found the body. Nikki starts to suspect that this glass may have contained the drugs. Back at Greer's home, she notices Abby's unusually calm behavior just before Dan and Nikki arrive to conduct another sweep of the property. Abby is arrested for Merritt's murder. It turns out Abby had stolen pills from Thomas's stash and mixed them into a cocktail for Merritt. Abby believed Merritt's pregnancy would interfere with her plans to access the trust fund and thus needed to eliminate her. After sharing the drugged cocktail, Abby strangled Merritt, ensuring her plans would proceed. Greer decides to write her next book in the city and allows Tag to stay at the property. Benji says his goodbyes to Amelia, who lives with her parents. Isabel confronts Thomas, slapping him for implicating her in the murder. 6 months later, in London, Amelia is working at a zoo when Greer visits her. Greer hands her a copy of her new book titled Your Move, which is about Amelia. Greer admits she was initially angry at Amelia, but realized her feelings were rooted in jealousy. She asks Amelia to read the book and reach out if she'd like to reconnect, hinting at the possibility of rebuilding their relationship. The series ends with Amelia holding the book and returning to her work at the zoo, leaving her future open as she considers Greer's offer.